As always, it is great to have you with us. If you would like to win your very own Kingdom Report mug, all you have to do to win is head on over to this very video on our YouTube channel. As soon as the live broadcast is over, you can leave a comment beneath the video with the phrase that pays this week. The phrase that pays this week, Hyperspace Mountain. That's right, Hyperspace Mountain is the phrase that pays this week. You have between now and Monday morning at 8 a.m. Pacific time in which to enter. Once again, leave that comment with the phrase that pays Hyperspace Mountain after the live show is over beneath this video on our YouTube channel. We love rewarding you for watching or listening to this show, and we want to get you your very own Kingdom Report mug by leaving Hyperspace Mountain in the comment section beneath this video. Tyler Crouch is our theme park analyst, and he's here. Katrina Manzoni is our travel agent, and she's here. Garrett Hassel's our reporter. He's here. And I'm Wade Heath. I'm your host. I'm definitely here. And a new edition of Kingdom Report Live starts right after this countdown.
To all who come to this happy place, welcome.
A beautiful Saturday as we take a look outside at springtime Disneyland in the distance, courtesy of the HojoAnaheim.com Mattercam, Space Mountain, Matterhorn Mountain, and beyond. A beautiful May day in SoCal. Welcome to it, everybody. Kingdom Report Live time. We are here, and it is always a joy to be part of your weekend. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for either watching live or on demand, or maybe you're listening to us wherever podcasts are available. We appreciate that too. Rate and review always means so much, and if you're watching, hit that thumbs up button. That also means a ton. Lets everybody know that there's a party going on up in here, and we are thrilled that you could join us. Yes, indeed. We being, of course, the whole gang. Theme park analyst Tyler Crouch, travel agent Katrina Manzoni, and reporter Garrett Hassel, all here today to talk some Disney magic.
Let's go.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go indeed.
How are you doing, Wade?
I feel fine. I feel as though spring has sprung.
It's true.
And it's Coronation Day, in which kings are made.
Yes.
Wow. Yeah.
I thought it was when Julie Andrews finally took the throne.
Well, that was when queens were made.
Yeah, but
Yeah. It was also Coronation Day.
I guess so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's a king made today. King Charles, perhaps. Garrett?
Yeah.
Why aren't you there?
I actually was. I happened to hop on, the hypersonic jets that they used to have, and I managed to make it in time. Because of the time difference, you would think it's not possible for Garrett to be there and here, but it is, in fact, there. I was actually, if you look in row 5 of the coronation, I was in Westminster Abbey, and I was just sitting there relaxing, and I said, listen, can we wrap this thing up? I got to be back in time for the Kingdom Report. And they were like, Which is the Kingdom Report? I know that's a horrible British
The
accent.
other
I can't do it
kingdom.
quite-
Yes.
Yeah, different
I can't
kingdom.
quite do it like Dick Van Dyke. And I asked, hey, what's the Wi-Fi password to Buckingham Palace? And they said, bugger off. And I thought, well, that's not very
It's a weird password.
I know. I thought it was very weird, but know what? I'll just have to be there for the next coronation, whenever that is.
Well, I'm glad you snuck in, at least, and were able to spy on a bit of it. Certainly, you brought a giant hat, as is customary in such an occasion.
Yeah.
Of course, you always need a giant hat.
Yeah, large flowers and whatnot. That's good.
Yeah. I thought about bringing one of the medieval times crowns, but they said,
Oh.
sorry, sir, no other crowns besides the royal, crown that Charles will wear. And I was like, know what? Game recognizes game.
Wow. Lord Garrett Hassel, ladies and gentlemen.
I
There
like
he
the
is.
sound
What
of
a
that.
champion.
I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got a nice plot of land outside Stockton, California.
Oh, and I'm sure it's worth nothing. But I'm glad that you could make it back in time for the show, and
Thank you.
I'm thrilled that you had an opportunity to experience some real coronation magic.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Must have
asked
been
if
beautiful.
any of this was going to be at the UK Pavilion at Epcot, and they didn't know what I was talking about. So I figured I was with the wrong crowd that wasn't really in the inner circle of Disney that we are.
Oh,
The
come
time
on.
changes and the flying and stuff. You look great.
Yeah, well rested.
You take
Lot of
a
masks.
couple, Dayquils and you pep right up.
You do.
Is that what happens with Dayquil?
Yeah.
I guess so. I
Dang.
didn't think you
What am I missing?
Yeah. Wow. Gotta try some Dayquil.
Dayquil and other things. Don't worry about the other things.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
Well, he made it.
Okay, it's a little peppermint oil, but that's
Little
about it.
peppermint.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, that'll perk you
I was
up.
going into a way darker place.
Yeah, we don't need that.
Shame on you, future CEO. Shame on you.
No,
Garrett
no,
Hassel does
you
not
gotta
defile his
think of-
body with those foreign substances.
Listen, you got to think of everything if you're going to be a CEO of a
Fair-
multi-billion-dollar
fair
company.
Fair enough.
True.
Game recognizes game.
That's right. Thank you.
So much game happening up in
All
here.
the game.
We have a lot of news to talk about here today, as well as a bit of Walt Disney World trip reporting that will be happening shortly. In addition to that, a dining review on Rodeo Roundup Barbecue, Toy Story Land. Lots to talk about today, lots to share, but first we dive in to some of the news worth noting from the past week. It is time for the Disney News Review. Disney News Review time. Some of the stories worth touching on from the last week. Disneyland Forward coming at us in the city of Anaheim. That's right, resort officials have invited its Anaheim neighbors to community coffee events at local parks so officials can explain what the proposed plan, known as Disneyland Forward, entails, and gives residents a chance to ask questions about the proposed expansion with 8 more roadshow events coming up. The proposed plan details the ways in which officials want to update and renovate the Anaheim theme park. The project will include new attractions, shops, and restaurants within its existing 490-acre footprint, according to the Los Angeles Times. The company has not announced how much a possible expansion would cost, but it previously stated that the endeavor would be privately funded. While Disney hasn't officially announced how the theme park expansion will materialize, many Disney fans have theorized that Disneyland could get Tangled, Frozen, or Zootopia-inspired lands, along with others. Garrett, why the uptick in these road shows all of a sudden? What's going on, do you think?
I think it's just some good old-fashioned word-by-mouth kind of marketing because, Disney's a big company, and unless you're within, our kind of circle where we constantly talk about Disney news, a lot of people may not know what is going on, and Disneyland is probably the reason why Anaheim is as big as it is. Walt bought a bunch of orange groves and, out popped Disneyland and the city built around it. So by going to these local events, you get the locals involved and be like, hey, if you haven't been to Disney World in a while, here's some exciting things that are coming. And then you get the word of mouth going around, and then it just grows and grows and grows because you don't really want to put out a commercial for Disney that's like, hey, we're possibly going to be building this, this, and this. That doesn't really sell well in terms of commercial. The commercials Disney puts out are things that are currently happening, like Tron out in Disney World, or hey, we just built the Marvel Avengers campus. Come check it out. So I think the uptick in these is, word of mouth, get people out there, put a face to the Disney name where you see, hey, rather than just some corporate entity, you say, hey, these are the Imagineers, these are the managers and the leaders in charge of this project. And then you get that community outreach, which is good PR overall, because PR in a way can almost be more effective than just, just putting out, advertising, because PR, it helps everything. And then, you might get a few people be like, know what? I haven't been to Disney World in a while. Let's go check it out. And then you get a few extra bucks in the Disney bank account that supports Scrooge McDuck Enterprises.
Oh my.
Yeah.
How about that? And
It's almost like Disney's a business, and it's trying to, grow.
Almost. Yeah. And
Almost.
Who swims in the money?
Scrooge McDuck.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
everybody
Well,
knows that.
It's his bin, but he never swims with his lucky dime.
Gotcha.
Like he keeps that thing locked away.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
watched
Sorry, I'm
DuckTales
unaware of these
once or
things. Like,
twice.
what's
you
up?
watch DuckTales, dog?
DuckTales?
I watched DuckTales, yeah. Is that what you're asking me?
Yeah, because that Scrooge jumps in the money.
I think he was
in the money.
confused
Yeah.
if maybe Chapek may take
I
over
was
and
making
then
a
just
joke
jump
about
in.
one of the... Yeah, it's funny when I explain the jokes, but...
I got it. I married him.
I was going too serious on the DuckTales, but no. Actually, Iger and Tomorrow, they both jump in the money.
Okay, all right.
together.
That's what I was looking for. Thank you.
Yeah. They jump in it together, and occasionally, a legacy or former Disney cast member Wade Heath gets to join them in these
Oh,
escapades.
wow. Yeah.
I'm just trying to give Wade I'm just trying to.
He's like, why are you including
Give
me?
Wade
Got to get a
Yeah.
trip report on that one. Wade.
Wow, what an honor.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Well, you went to the Oscars, and I went to the coronation, so Wade gets to jump in Disney's money pen. So
Okay, fair.
Yeah.
I
it's
just
the
get
least-
left out.
Yeah, I was going to say Katrina
s-
doesn't exist.
Just taking pictures, I
What's
guess.
that about?
Katrina's event's coming.
Oh.
Coming, don't
Oh.
worry.
Forthcoming.
Hers is
He knows.
Hers is even
I'm
bigger and
scared.
better. When Disney opens up on the moon, she's gonna be there, first guest
wow.
in there.
Disney's moon landing.
Cool.
Coming soon.
Here we go.
Well, Tyler, what would you like to see developed first with Disneyland forward? There's a lot of space that has been sort of designated for this, according to the concept art. Both of the downtown Disney auxiliary parking lots on either side of the Disneyland Hotel are spaces they indicate will be part of an expansion, as well as the current Toy Story parking lot. And next to that, the Pumbaa parking lot on the other side of the Garden Walk, the Anaheim Garden Walk Mall that unfortunately just never seems to find its stride. But what would you like to see develop first?
I mean, for me personally, I just want more lands and attractions, like, first and foremost. I'm excited for whatever they're going to bring. Honestly, to me, the least exciting thing is like Avatar. I guess I would like to see stuff that we don't have here in the States more.
Mm-hmm.
I'd love to see like the Frozen land built out here, or even the Zootopia stuff, because those things are looking really neat. And it's a lot harder to get out of the country, obviously, than to fly to Florida. So I would really like to see some of that stuff that we don't have in the States yet. And I mean, maybe even bring in that Beauty and the Beast ride over from Tokyo. I mean, that would be amazing too. So that's what I'm looking forward to, seeing just the expansion bring in, brand new experiences for all of us. That's gonna be what I'm looking forward to.
Bring on all the new experiences. Richard in live chat saying, why talk about Disneyland Forward before talking about the Avengers e-ticket ride? Amen, Richard. Get us that e-ticket ride over in Avengers Campus that has been promised to us, please. That would be nice.
That would be nice.
Make
I'm
that
really
happen.
curious what that was supposed to be. I hope
We need to take bets as to what's going to come first: the Tomorrowland makeover, Disneyland Forever, or the Avengers e-ticket attraction. Whichever one comes first, because we've been told all these different things, and we're still waiting on them. I'm still waiting for Rocket Rods to come back personally, but I don't think my dream will ever come on.
I don't think so either.
No.
I was too short, and then right as I got to the right height, they're like, "We're shutting it down," and I'm like, "Why?"
Well,
Yeah.
Wow.
It's okay.
Hard to imagine you being too short.
There was a time when I was short. It's called childhood.
Yeah.
the hair alone adds
I
at
know,
least
yeah.
another foot and a half.
It does.
That's
It
for
takes about 3 hours to get it like this, and even this was a 2.5 hour rush job, and I'm still not happy with it.
And on the hypersonic jet. I mean,
Yeah, it's true.
that's some
Yes.
mad skills, buddy. So.
I know,
Well,
right?
Disneyland Forward. Hey, hopefully coming our direction soon as they continue to ramp up these road shows and definitely attempting to make the community a little bit more comfortable with the idea. I cannot imagine that Disney and the marketing team are putting these forward without thinking, we have something waiting in the wings here to announce fairly quickly. Why else would they be actively speaking to the community like this? Makes you wonder, doesn't it? Well, we move on. Disneyland's Fantasmic show erupted in flames recently in a very unfortunate situation that has made the viral news rounds. Fantasmic Inferno. We've covered it here as well. But Disneyland leadership recently notified cast members that performances of Fantasmic are now paused until at least May 28th. As the investigation continues into the April 22nd incident, fire effects similar to those in Fantasmic are temporarily suspended out of an abundance of caution in other parks as well as California Adventure. WDW News Today reports that the Maleficent Dragon was completely destroyed by the fire, so when Fantasmic does return, the show will likely be performed in B mode with the dragon projected on a mist screen. Other pyrotechnics could also be suspended, but that has not been confirmed. Katrina, how confident are you that the Maleficent Dragon will be restored or replaced at this nighttime spectacular? I had a lot more confidence myself a couple weeks ago, and I'm starting to get nervous about it.
I'm confident it won't be done by the summer.
Yeah?
I feel like if they, like what they said with the projections and stuff, yes, they're like once everything's kind of cleared up and cleaned up and everything, they'll bring it back and then just do some type of B mode for a while. Like especially during the summer, they cannot have not have a show in the summer to like take people away. But now I feel like that e-ticket ride for Avengers Campus is definitely on the chopping block if they need money, because that money is going to be going towards probably Maleficent first, and then once they build it. But hopefully, like I would imagine maybe by the end of the year. Like I can't imagine them building like a whole new one unless they had one like in like a department somewhere. They're like, hey, do you want to use a spare over here that we have?
Standby.
You know, so maybe they'll have it like probably like, you know, hopefully by like Christmas time and stuff. But in the summer, like I can't imagine them like doing a rush job and like getting it in there and fast. But who knows? Maybe.
Perhaps. I hope that.
That'd be nice.
Yeah, I hope that they will invest the money that they need to in order to repair this really spectacular audio animatronic that breathes fire, even though it has trouble doing so clearly.
It was sad not seeing it breathe fire in like Magic Kingdom when we walked by the parade. It
Yeah.
was weird.
It's very odd to have all of these things illuminated just like that over an incident that seems very isolated, but I guess, again, out of an abundance of caution, as they mentioned, until they figure out exactly what happened, why put anybody at risk if you don't know?
Yeah.
So, smart idea, of course, and the Disneyland website also being one that continues to be updated as we move along for the sake of when Fantasmic is coming back. So, we are now waiting for the Fantasmic return, hopefully before the summer crowds really do start to arrive, but a lot is left up in the air at this point. Garrett, due to the rumored extent of the damage, some Disney fans are making the case to close Fantasmic at Disneyland for good and put something new in its place. What's your reaction to that? We don't necessarily know exactly how much that audio animatronic dragon, you know, the Maleficent Dragon costs, but no doubt that was a very pretty penny. And if they're not going to entirely replace the dragon, rumored, then should they replace the show?
Listen, if they can keep something as old as the Main Street Electrical Parade running after all these years, then they can easily fix this. I'll call it a small dilemma in the grand scheme of things, because, you know, Main Street Electrical has been going on for years and that thing is broken down and beat up. They can easily bring Fantasmic back. So I think Fantasmic will be making a comeback. It was, you know, just a few years ago that they brought out Fantasmic 2.0, where they brought out the whole new, you know, the princes and the princesses and these new characters, and you know they replaced the Peter Pan section with, you know, Pirates of the Caribbean, adding Captain Jack Sparrow and these new IP that they have. So I really do not see them completely scrapping the show, because the stage still works, the effects still work, plus Fantasmic is so iconic in just the music, just the scenes, they stand out. And the Disneyland one is different than the Disney World one, where they have similar but differences. And I personally prefer the Disneyland one. It's the iconic original one. While it does not have the seating arrangement that is very nice at Hollywood Studios, it does have, I think, a little bit more grandeur to it. And, the audio animatronic Maleficent Dragon, I think, is better at Disneyland than Disney World. Disney World, it's a crane and, goes into the mountain. This one rose out of the ground or appeared magically somewhere. We don't know how. So I don't see the show going away unless there's something below the surface, like into the actual infrastructure of that stage, to where it's like, listen, we got to start over from scrap and shut down, Tom Sawyer's Island. It's going to come back to a certain degree. Maybe they'll have some new audio animatronic technology added in there. Who knows? As long as the crane dragon from Hollywood Studios doesn't pop in, I think we'll be in pretty good shape. So the likelihood of scrapping Fantasmic for some either new version of Fantasmic or just a brand new show entirely, I'd say that's pretty low. I'd give it less than 10% because Disney knows how iconic this show is. And Disneyland is a bit more, it has nostalgia in certain areas. Like Disney World, they try and keep things the same. But Disneyland, this is like the one thing that's been there for a very long time, and they don't really want it to go away. Like people love Fantasmic. Who doesn't?
Who doesn't? Bring in the drones. That's what I say.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
I
cool
would
with
like to
that.
see some
I'm cool with some
drones.
drones. I don't know how, but like they do have, Rapunzel and Flynn. You could have some little floating lanterns behind them or something like that.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
That'd be
Yeah.
pretty.
A lot
neat.
could be done with drones.
I would
I'm
I would chain myself to that island if they tried to get rid of Fantasmic. I would,
This guy.
it
That's
would
how
not
dedicated
happen.
he is to being CEO.
Yeah,
That's
it's
right.
not happening.
Hell no, he won't go.
That's right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That I'll say that.
Fantasmic forever.
Yeah. Like, why can't they make like a Maleficent drone? It's over water, and then if it falls in the water.
Yeah, smart. There we
Ooh,
go.
actually, if they added some kind of aerial flying effect, because they did that when they opened New Fantasyland at Magic Kingdom. Granted, that area.
Oh yeah, remember that
dragon?
dragon flying when they opened New Fantasyland? That's right.
Yeah, yeah.
Boy,
Yeah,
we never
they did
saw that again.
once.
No.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, yeah, I
And
mean,
they
they
also did the
also
same
had-
thing with Galaxy's Edge.
Yeah, they had the
like,
X-Wing,
flying
yeah.
X-wings.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
See,
And right
they give
now
us a
in-
little
in-
taste of these things, and then we never see them again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They vanish.
And
It's
in
too
Paris, they're
expensive, too many
using
people.
drones and yeah.
Yeah,
Over
maybe.
in Paris, they're using drones in their, fireworks against their Hollywood Tower of
Yeah.
Terror with like the whole
Right.
Avengers circle, and then they do it in their castle with like the the Mickey 30.
That's
So
so cool.
it's amazing how
Uh-huh.
all these other parks, except for the ones in the west and western hemisphere of the world, use drones and all this advanced audio animatronics. For example, Beauty and the Beast versus Norway's Elsa. We got to step it up here in America. I'm just saying we got to
honestly
pump some more money
feel-
into the Imagineer budget.
I honestly feel like it is because of nosy people that's the reason why we don't have drones is
Yeah.
because people will start flying over to try to see it or something like that, and that's probably the reason why. Because in Universal they have their drone and Hollywood, and then so it turns into a stag, and then it like moves. It's really cool. But there was a day when we were watching it, remember? And then there was a helicopter just kind of flying around, and it started getting lower and lower. And then what happened? They all dispersed, turned red, and started flashing.
Yeah.
Oh.
Like in the middle
Yeah.
of the show,
Oh.
it just there was like a sensor,
They went
and
into
it
like
got.
an emergency
What
mode.
spell
Yeah.
is that in
Yeah.
Harry Potter? I want to know what spell that
And
is.
so they just started flashing, and then they all went back home, and then show over. And I was like, oh.
Yeah.
So it was because people were very nosy, and they started trying to fly over, and then they got a little too close, and then they're like, emergency, break apart. And they're
Too close, too
yeah,
close.
so I feel like that's probably and then maybe too expensive. But
Perhaps.
I really want that drone show though from Paris. That looks really, really cool.
I think it'd be easy to do, especially and very safe to do over water. It's the one
Yeah.
part of the park that they could do it
Right.
very seamlessly, and maybe fire-breathing drones in the future. We'll see.
Drones in
That sounds
Epcot.
That sounds
Yeah.
dangerously
World
exciting.
Showcase.
That would be.
They've got to be planning that, right? I mean, that just makes sense to do it over the water at Epcot. I mean,
Make a world.
Yeah.
And then they fly
Ooh, I'm
together
down
and
for
make
that.
a world.
Globe drone. Look out.
How cool would that be if it was like all of them were stationed on all of the countries, and then they just start flying from the countries, and then they gather around into a world?
Oh, she's inspired.
Wow.
Look at that. She's
Me and
feeling
my
it.
CFO brain, I'm like, this is way too expensive.
Ain't nobody
You
paying
can't
for
put
this.
you can't put a price on happiness, Katrina.
I mean, again.
That's why we have to cut 7,000 jobs across the Disney company in order to pay for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Thousands and thousands.
Sacrifices will be made for
Yeah,
the sake
clearly.
of our enjoyment in this group.
Yes, absolutely.
Wouldn't that be
Well,
a conversation?
we certainly hope that the Fantasmic Dragon fiasco gets figured out and is ready for the big summer crowds, even if the gigantic audio animatronic dragon can't come back. A B mode, whatever works at this point, just to give that value of entertainment. There's a lot of other great spectacle that comes along with the show outside of the dragon itself. So we'll say a little prayer for old Murphy the Dragon and hope for the best, that's for sure. Disneyland has several attractions in Fantasyland specifically closing down here pretty quick, heading into summertime. This alongside the Splash Mountain closure. It's wild to think about as we prepare for the big summer crowds. Travel and Leisure reports that 3 visitor favorite rides will temporarily close: Peter Pan's Flight, Mr. Toad's Wild Ride, and Alice in Wonderland. The attractions will be shut down for refurbishments starting on June the 5th. Disneyland has not given an estimated date for when the rides will reopen or what updates will be included in the rides. These rides aren't the only ones getting refurbished at Disneyland. The Matterhorn bobsleds were also closed for refurbishment on April 17th. However, they will return. This was just updated on June the 1st. So fortunately, that mountain also will not be down in addition to everything else. Katrina, there are several key attractions that will be offline all at the same time. How would you suggest folks attempt to regain the value lost from these out of their trip?
Oh, man. You know, my first one is going on Nemo over and over and over again. And then
Total value.
you just do a little bit of Smuggler's Run on the side. Totally. Make it up really easy.
Whoa.
I'm about
Winning.
to walk out of here.
That's the bang for the buck right there. My gosh.
Woo!
Yeah.
Yeah. Isn't that right? It's great.
Disneyland doesn't need any other attractions. Those two win them all. That's
it.
for sure.
That's
Yeah.
it. And then you just go home. No. Honestly, I feel like it's a bummer that the 3 main ones are going to be closed because it's always really fun to go on Peter Pan and Alice and Mr. Toad. But again, like you at least have like the rest of Fantasyland to hang out with. So now like you could try going on the storybook canal boats, you know, and because a lot of people don't really do that ride very often. You kind of see the line and you're like, I'd rather ride Peter Pan. And then you're stuck in line with Peter Pan for so long that you're kind of like, let's go do something else. So you can do that. Like, what is it called? Now I'm like
Jr.
storybook.
Casey Jr.?
Yeah, Casey Jr. And then you can do like Alice in Wonderland, or not Alice in Wonderland. Oh my gosh, my mind just went to poop.
Teacups.
Snow White, and then you could do Pinocchio. You can do that stuff, and then also just kind of like wander around Fantasyland and just kind of like see all the little nooks and crannies that they have, and then do the walkthrough. A lot of people don't even think about doing the walkthrough. It kind of just is like out of sight, out of mind
Yeah.
type of thing.
Yeah, you miss that doorway. You don't realize it's there.
No, you just like you have like the entrances, and you just like keep walking. You don't really like look around, being like, oh look, an open door. Like usually like those random doors could be like for cast only type
Right.
of thing. So go through the door.
And it's
Go up the stairs.
a dark doorway, too, so it often
Yeah.
looks like you're
Doesn't
not
it look
supposed to be
inviting?
there. Yeah, right.
You can go in there, go look at the what is it called? The Snow White like the fountains and stuff, and then
Yeah.
throw a little
The
money
wishing
in
well.
the
The
wishing
wishing
well.
well.
Donate some money, write
Yeah.
it off on your taxes.
For the children.
Oh, the
How much are
children.
you donating to where you can write it off? But yeah, you can write it off.
Yeah, throw $500 in that well.
Yeah.
For the children.
For the children.
There we go.
Very
Well,
generous.
Yeah, absolutely. Tyler, of these shuttered attractions, which one stings the most for you, knowing it'll be shut down? And, I mean, we don't know for how long yet, but going into summertime, these are really hardcore classic attractions that people still love and line up for.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, for me, I think Alice in Wonderland is my favorite of the 3, but I think the one that's going to sting the most actually is Mr. Toad's Wild Ride, just because that's one of those rides that, you know, maybe not in the beginning of the day, but later on, you know, as the day unfolds, you know, maybe you could walk up and there'll be like a little 5-10 minute wait for it, and it's just a nice little thing to do when you're like, well, what should we do? And you just walk by and you're like, let's do Mr. Toad. There's no line. So that's kind of my go-to like Fantasyland ride for like let's just kill a little bit of time here. So I think that's a huge bummer. I think like more so than me missing the rides though is like if like Peter Pan and Alice in Wonderland are closed, like that's so many people that are now just going to be out doing things in the park now. So it's like, it's just
Crowd control goes away.
Yeah, exactly. So it's going to make things a little more crowded, and I don't know, that's got to suck for when you're bringing your little children and 3 of the main rides are closed for kids. It's so I feel for everybody, but yeah, I'll probably miss Mr. Toad the most. Hopefully it comes
It's a
back
hidden
soon.
gem.
Sweet Toady. We do have an update thanks to Jay Pike in chat. Disneyland.com has been updated. These happen at random, but Disneyland.com has been updated for Mr. Toad being closed from June the 5th to the 15th.
Oh,
so
okay.
Yeah.
sounds like a much shorter time span
nice.
than we realized. So that's fantastic. And hopefully they all just have these really brief downtimes, because keeping so many of your classics in the heart of the park offline as summer crowds arrive, that's a tough sell. So glad to see it's only going to be a very short stint. Good news. Garrett, do you have a favorite?
Yeah.
Are you disappointed?
Yeah, I've got to agree. Mr. Toad's is pretty iconic, especially at Disney World. The only way you can know Mr. Toad is even in that park is you go to the Haunted Mansion and you look in the pet cemetery, and you will see good old Mr. Toad at the top where he should be, because he is the number 1.
Oh, Toady, going to hell.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
But I love going to hell every time I go on that attraction. But it's a ride that a lot of people don't know the character's origins and don't know the story very well. Everyone knows, Alice in Wonderland. People know Peter Pan hands down. They just released, Peter Pan and Wendy on Disney Plus, which I still haven't seen because I've heard
Look at
mixed
that plug.
reviews. I heard Jude Law does a great job though. But Mr. Toad is, unless you saw, the adventures of Mr. Toad and Ichabod Crane on Disney Plus, like, you really won't know the story. And I think the ride is just so whimsical. It's funny, and it's one of the few rides where it has a very dark ending for those going on it. But I remember as a little kid, I was like, I get to drive the car. And so, yeah, my inner 5-year-old, despite me being 7, I really love that attraction. So 10 days, people can handle 10 days with no Mr. Toad.
Cross your fingers.
Alice in Wonderland. Yeah. Toad it's a special attraction for sure. And it, I wish it was at Disney World, but you got Winnie the Pooh there, so whatever.
Yeah.
Boo.
Ew,
Winnie the
poo.
Pooh ruining every they also got rid of they got rid of Country Bears for Winnie the Pooh, for God's sakes. Like,
You're right.
What?
Winnie the Pooh is
the
ride killer.
I love Winnie the Pooh, but like, he deserves his own place. Like, let's not get rid of these classic things here, because
This is
Winnie the
triggers,
Pooh
like
needs to move
Smugglers
in.
and Pooh.
Yeah.
I wish we had Pooh's Honey Hunt like they do in Tokyo with their trackless ride system.
Yeah.
Because I hear that
That'd be
thing
cool.
is amazing, and then we get this cheap knockoff where it's like, oh, Heffalumps and Woozles.
If we had the one in Tokyo, then I would totally understand.
Oh, yeah.
But it's just like,
Maybe Disneyland
seemed-
Forward.
I mean, we already have a Winnie the Pooh. That's
Maybe
the
they
problem.
have to knock it down to spread out with Tiana stuff.
That's the problem
Oh.
when you make a cheap like dark ride, is now that ride exists, and so anything that they're not going to build another dark ride, that's just not going to happen of the same property. So so we're out of luck at Disneyland. Now we got the cheap Winnie the Pooh ride, and we'll never get a good one. Sorry, everybody.
Wow.
Why stomp out a
Positive.
bunch of
So
bears for another?
optimistic.
Isn't there room
Can't we all
for
just
more
love
than
each
one
other?
bear? I thought we
No.
could. I guess not.
I love Winnie the Pooh, but the ride's just not that good. Let's just be honest.
Wow. Well, maybe
Maybe we'll
you're
get
not
Pooh's-
the demographic. You ever think of that?
No,
Oh, wow.
Okay.
can't be.
Childless millennials are the target.
me. I'm a Disney adult. Damn it.
That was a great impression of me.
I
Well.
thought he was like on both sides, like surround sound.
I've hung around you for too long.
We're undesirable number 1.
Starting to mirror you in ways it's just nuts.
That's okay.
That's for sure. Well, you let us know of the 3 attractions scheduled for some downtime. What is your favorite? We'd love to hear from you down in the comments section or as part of live chat. Well, y'all, stick around. There's plenty more Kingdom Report Live for you next. Disney List Time. Taking a look at some of the hits and misses out at Walt Disney World for a spring break trip report. How's it going, everybody? Wade Heath with you here alongside Garrett Hassel, Tyler Crouch, Katrina Manzone. Tyler and Katrina recently went on a Walt Disney World vacation here during spring break, and they have some things to share with you about what's happening out there, hits, misses, and beyond. We're going to start with Tyler. Take us through some of the things you saw and some of the things that the audience should know about as we think about our next Disney World trip.
Yeah, so I mean, actually, on this past trip that we just went on, we had a lot of first times for us.
Cool.
You know, it's not something...
That's very rare.
What?
Very rare.
Yeah, very rare. Exactly.
Yeah, because like
you said where?
Yeah, I know. That's what I thought too. I was like, what?
where'd you go?
Yeah, follow along, Garrett. Come on.
I've got 8 hours of jet lag, man.
So we, yeah, like I said, we had a lot of first times, and so that was really fun. Again, like Garrett said, it's very rare for us to be able to do certain things for the first time. But the first thing I'm going to start with is the Swan Reserve, which, for those that don't know, obviously Swan and Dolphin has been around for quite some time over in Disney World. It's actually a Marriott hotel. It's not technically a Disney thing, but they're pals, whatever. And,
whatever.
I said that and I want to see Wade's face. I don't know. So
Besties.
Yeah, they're good friends. So we decided, the Swan Reserve, third tower, it's a brand new thing. And I gotta say, for the hits and misses, to stay on track with that, to me, it's kind of a miss. I hate to say it. Don't get me wrong, it's a very nice hotel, but it feels very just by itself. There's like nothing around there. The only restaurant in the whole hotel, there's a bar and there's like a quick serve place where you can, pick up cereal or whatever. But then there's a restaurant called Amare, but it's kind of one of those restaurants that's like, we got to build a restaurant in this hotel. It's not like it's
supplement.
Not like, yeah. It's not like something you would really go out of your way for. And also it's just super expensive. It's just crazy expensive for like, we got a junior suite, and I'll just be straight up with you guys. We spent like $1,500 on like 3 nights. And when they say junior suite, I mean, it's the size of a standard room, basically.
Oh, that's disappointing.
It really is like
with a nook for a table.
Yeah, it's like,
That's it.
And there's a table in this nook, right? And that's also where the closets are. So anytime you want to use the closets, you have to move the table over. It's just like, it just doesn't make any sense. And so anyway,
You don't want to eat. You can eat with your food that's hanging, or you can eat with your clothes. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Closet. Pretty much. It's kind of disappointing on that. Yeah, but I will say the parking area is very nice because it's very close by.
Yeah.
So it's not
the self-parking was nice.
That's a positive.
Yeah, there's a plus.
Yeah, so it's self-parking and valet, but at least it's not too far away either. Like versus like Swan and Dolphin, like they're like you park far away.
Oh yeah.
So it's like a trek.
But speaking of the Swan and Dolphin as well, there's a brand new restaurant that's only been open for a couple months over at the Dolphin, and it is called Rosa Mexicano. And I just want to briefly talk about it, that it is probably the best Mexican food I've ever had in Florida.
Oh, awesome.
Coming from somebody who's lived in Southern California their whole life, who obviously we get a lot of great Mexican food. I mean, that place was amazing. We had queso birria tacos and enchiladas. There's a duck confit enchilada that had mole on it that was like, dang, it was so good. Guacamole. I mean, I'm sure
Tableside guac.
Yeah, tableside guac.
Oh my!
I'm sure you feel the same
Miren
way, that it was some amazing food, and I highly recommend if you're looking for. I mean, it's pricey. Don't get me wrong, but I highly recommend Rosa Mexicano for anything you want to do.
Price for quality.
Mexican style.
Yeah.
It matters.
And on a positive
do they have
note
a gluten-free
with this,
menu?
They do, and it's not like a menu, but they kind of walked me through it, and it was very, very nice because like the guac is gluten free, the chips were gluten free. They were really nice with the enchiladas because the mole isn't, because we wanted the trio one where you can get like 3 different types. So they put the mole on the side so he could just put it on himself, so I could try a bite of the duck. And then kind of everything else, they were like really easy with to modify and whatnot, and it was really great. And the margaritas were really nice.
The service was great.
The servers were like, they were so sweet, and And then on top of it too, when we were leaving, because like in California, we're kind of like always asking about annual pass discounts and whatnot. And they're like, do we have an annual pass discount? And in Florida, it's always no.
Yeah, right.
They're like, no. And then this time we were like, oh, do you have an annual pass discount? And then they're like, no, but we do you have AAA? And we're like, yes. And they gave us a AAA discount of
So
20%.
that works.
That's so weird.
I
Isn't
know,
that
yeah.
wild? I was like, 20% discount for AAA? Yeah, here, throw my card.
Did that get
Man.
Katrina saying, holy moly?
Holy
Ha!
guacamole!
I think so.
Yeah.
Do we have a
Thank you
sound
very
effect?
much.
Do we have that?
I don't have my soundboard here. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Dang
Slow
it.
with the switch.
I know.
It's all right.
It was great though. It was like the food was really yummy. I think we ate way too much like right after the flight. He had to roll me back to Swan Reserve. He's like, okay, Katrina.
You can never eat too much. It's impossible.
Oh my God.
No.
It was really good. That guac, I even told Tyler the other day, I was like, honestly, after a day at Epcot, like, and I just wanted guac and I didn't want to like go to Mexico because the line was too long, I'd probably walk to Rosa Mexicana and just get like a margarita and a guac.
Can I get some guac to go?
Yeah. And I do like tableside. It's always fun.
No, table side's the best.
It's the best.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, great tip. Awesome.
So yeah, Rosa Mexicana definitely a hit.
Good find.
So then on to our next first time. I mean, all these things have been first time so far, and another first time for us is going on Tron, the new roller coaster
Woo!
at Magic Kingdom, which this is a tough one for me because as you could see there's me and my sister, and we're enjoying ourselves on Tron. I got to say what's cool about the camera is there's one on each side. So that
really?
was like the one that you saw on my side. But then my sister too, she had her own camera. So she could be looking at like that camera too. So in a way that's really cool, but also it makes it a little bit strange when you look at the photos because somebody's looking in the opposite direction, right? On each photo. Anyway,
I get my shot.
Tron is beautiful. It's cool that you're on this motorcycle. I think it is very short and it's not very thrilling. So if you're looking for, a new contender for something to take the Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind throne, that ain't happening here. This is a fun ride. It's like I said, it's beautiful, but it's a pretty big to do to get in there and then be on a ride for like what feels like a minute 15 seconds or so.
Yeah.
Guardians feels like 5 minutes, honestly.
Yeah, Guardians is a good length, I feel. And I think I've seen a lot of people comparing this to the length of like Rock and Roller Coaster. I would say this is kind of a less bumpy, less thrilling version of that ride, and so you get pros and cons in there. But for us,
Was the soundtrack cool at least?
yeah, I mean Daft Punk, you can't go wrong with Daft Punk. So that's probably one of the best parts, And I think it's kind of confusing too if you don't pay attention to like the video. It's a very minimalistic ride. Like there's barely a pre-show. The theming is black walls with blue lines,
JPEG era theming.
Yeah, so it's
Right.
just it's very like minimal. The queue is, I mean, we didn't see like the full queue, but from what I understand, it's not that complicated either. So it's just there's very little story, more just doing,
Huh.
Yeah.
Fascinating.
Dude,
And
I mean,
Katrina, did you hop on board?
I did.
Did you not die?
Twice.
Yeah?
Twice.
Twice.
I'm still here.
What a girl.
Twice?
Twice. I know. Isn't that crazy?
More times than she goes on Everest with me.
It's true. It's true.
It was the first time.
I did the first time in the bucket seat with my friend Tina, and I was scared shitless.
Oh.
So we took off, and
To put it blankly.
yeah.
I was shaking, and so we took off, and that was fine because I was like, the seats in the bucket are so wide that I had to put my feet up to hold myself steady, like to hold myself still.
Oh my.
Because it's like really far, and
Huh.
then so when I was like trying to reach forward, it just seemed too far. So I was like holding like the little pull down bars, and I'm like the whole time. And it was actually not that bad. The first time I was like, oh okay, this is great. I want to kind of try the bike the next time because it wasn't like too intense. Then I tried the bike a couple days later. Oh man, it was like I was like ready to go with a photo because I was like, I already know where the photo is, and I'm like hanging out when the photo comes by. I was gonna look cute, and then it took off, and then it took off again, and then I was like, and then so that was my photo. It was really bad. So then we took off, and I was doing it on the bike. I hated it. I could not. The handles were really uncomfortable. They're like these like the metal pull down. It didn't feel like it was like tight on my back. And then I got super nauseous. I got off the bike, and I was like, I gotta go like to the bathroom. And then so I had to like get some AC for a little bit. And then he went to go ride Seven Doors Mine Train, and I was like, you could do it alone. I just like hung out in the AC the whole time. I found this like little like vent thing like right in where like the exit of Seven Doors, and I was just hanging out there being like so
Coming back to life.
So the bike is a no for me, but the bucket it's okay.
Yeah.
I could probably do it again with a bucket. But and a bucket. Like a bucket in a bucket.
Bucket in a bucket.
Yeah.
And then a side bucket to throw up in.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So but I did it. I did it twice.
Had a girl.
Here we go.
I'm surprised you did it twice. That's
I know.
great. Congratulations.
I was
Yeah.
really curious about trying at nighttime because like everybody says it's like a different experience at nighttime, and
It's not.
Oh, okay. Anyway, so they did it. I decided to, sit with my mac and cheese and watch Happily Ever After while they went on Tron. So I was in my own little happy place. So
Also a perfect experience.
it was great.
Yeah.
Tomorrowland,
Katrine,
man, those were loud.
Yeah.
Do you think this attraction would work at Disneyland, or do you think it's needed at Disneyland, or should it just stay at Disney World and Disneyland gets its own?
I think it's
sort of thing?
some type of roller coaster is needed in Disneyland. Some
Okay.
type of.
I think
thrill.
it would work, but to me it's already weird that like Space Mountain and Tron are next to each other, in Magic Kingdom,
yeah.
and I feel like that would be the same thing that happens in Disneyland. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
It would work.
A lot of space.
I would rather have them. Honestly, I'd rather have them spend their money on something else. I truly would. Tron, I was gonna. We're doing hits and misses, and I was gonna say I think it's kind of a miss.
Wow.
I'm indifferent because I don't like roller coasters. So.
So I just I
Biased.
just feel like it needs to be longer, or there needs to be something more to it. It just feels it's very minimalistic.
I mean,
We'll
it's
do the
beautiful
Tron
at
boat
night.
ride
Yeah.
next.
The soundtrack was great. If you want a good breeze, you just go right up in there right before the entrance and you get all this wind. That's where I was hanging out when Tyler went. Like one time I was just like, I'm just going to get some air. And then that breeze was like flying by. I was like, this is nice for Florida.
Heck of a breezeway.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. The thing is like I think the coolest part about it is you're on a motorcycle, but like there's already a ride that does that better, which is Hagrid's over at Islands of Adventure.
I don't know that place.
Yeah. I will say Hagrid's is way better than Tron.
Yeah,
100%.
so it's just kind of sad, but I don't know.
Anyway.
It's still cool, but yeah, let's move on. This is kind of a first because we've seen Fantasmic before, obviously
On
millions
both
of
coasts.
times on both coasts, but this was our first time seeing it since they had like kind of redone it and they added new characters like Moana and Elsa and and I gotta say, and they got rid of that Pocahontas section, which was everybody was always kind of like, I mean, that was great. I really love Fantasmic. It was so much fun seeing it again. And I think some highlights for me were the Moana section and the Elsa stuff, like I mentioned. I mean, but the Moana one is amazing because she's just like running through the water and she's singing her song about water and and it's just very beautiful. I kind of teared up a little bit at that moment. So
I cried.
yeah, it was pretty
beautiful.
neat. I mean, the only thing I don't love about this Fantasmic is Garrett was kind of talking about it earlier, is like I hate the stadium thing. I really do. I much prefer the just sitting on the floor at Disneyland and just being so far away. You have to walk forever to get to the stadium too. It just feels like it's just a pain. It really is. And when Fantasmic is over at Disneyland, you're at the theme park. You could just go right back, but
It's not a half-mile hike back to the
exactly,
park.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, for me, Fantasmic is a hit every time. But the updates were fantastic. They were even Fantasmic.
Oh!
Hey!
So I'm
Yeah.
very happy with.
He
I'm
did
very happy with the
it.
actual show.
That's outstanding. And some eats. What kind of food? Tell us about that.
Yeah. So another first again. We tried.
My gosh.
We tried.
You
Now I'm blanking
pioneer.
on the name of it. Chefs
de France.
de
Chef de
France.
France.
Yeah.
Garrett, how do you
You've
say
never
it?
had Chef de France. I like that. Like there's no. You said it pretty. It's not like You know, it's not like like it's not like that. It's just Chef de France. Like as long as you
All the
don't, as long as
ladies
you don't say
swooned. Did you
Chef
hear that?
de France, as long as you don't say that.
Frenchie de Chefsa?
Frenchie de Chef, Chef Boyardee.
There you go.
Now we're just getting a little bit racist. We need to
Yeah.
tone it back.
Yeah.
How
Back
is
it up.
Chef Boyardee? That's Italiano.
Yeah. Take it to Italy, sir.
Find out the local Safeway.
Thank you for that. So you stopped by Chefs de France.
Yeah, do you want to talk about Chefs de France?
Sure. It was great. They
Yeah.
were really, really nice. We did Tyler and I decided to do like the prefix type of thing.
Okay.
How much was it? 75?
I think it was 75.
It was around $75. So you get like a first course, second course, dessert, and you get a glass of wine. And so I chose that because it's cheaper because I wanted a glass of wine anyway. So with doing this, and I was gonna get like a first and a second, you technically get like kind of like the dessert for free in a way. So that was really good. We did not know how big the sizes were gonna be. Those portions were so massive. So they were able to do a gluten-free French onion soup, which is great.
That's actually impressive.
Baby is massive. Like this picture doesn't even give it justice on how big it is. It's like that bowl
I couldn't finish
opening was as big as my hand.
Wow.
It was massive. And they put the gluten-free bread in there. It was great. I kind of like the gluten-free bread that they gave is this like weird gummy bread. So it didn't really work out in the soup form. So I just ate all the cheese and like ate the broth and stuff. But it was really nice that they were able to do it, which was great because it's kind of hard sometimes, a hit and miss type of thing. But it was delicious. Tyler's looked really great. They give you like a little baguette, which is really cute. And then I got the fish. Forgot what it was. But it was really tasty. And then they did it with this like champagne beurre blanc on the bottom and then like the rice. It was just so good and so refreshing after eating something so heavy, like with all that cheese from the French onion. Mind-blowing how big the fish was.
I was going to say, that is a thick fish.
It is
Yeah,
massive. I want to say
bigger
it was
than the steak
sea
on the
bass,
right.
but-
Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks bigger than the steak. You're right.
It is, and
Yeah,
it was
bigger than
just
steak.
it was so good, and that beurre blanc was just money. I could just drink it. And then Tyler got like the steak and potatoes, and it looked really good. And then I think instead of there was like green beans,
I
and
got
he
cauliflower,
wanted cauliflower
yeah,
instead of the green beans.
Okay.
But anyway, but it was really great. The portions were huge. And how did you even like the potatoes? They looked really good from afar. They're like little potato.
They were okay. I don't know. It was okay.
Okay. Well,
I'm gonna say,
good from afar.
Well, I'll finish off with the dessert.
Oh yeah, and then the dessert. I forgot what you got. It was like a chocolate torte, but then I got the creme brulee,
Oh, yeah.
and it was tasty. It had that beautiful when you smack the spoon in the sugar,
Smack it.
and it cracks, and it's just so yummy and crunchy. Ugh. It was really good. But again, like you're eating all of this food, and the creme brulee I thought was going to be like
There it is.
a little bit smaller. Look
Oh,
how big
yeah.
this thing is.
That is a
It
big
was
creme brulee.
massive. I honestly thought with the prefix they give you like tinier portions of everything, to be honest. And no, it was a huge creme brulee, and then I pretty much ate the whole thing. I forced myself to eat it. I was like, I'm going to be miserable for the rest
Yeah,
of
it
the
was great
night.
value.
filling. It was
I was
a
glad I
super
wore like a
filling meal.
stretchy dress.
Oh, is that in slow motion?
Yeah, look at that.
Oh, I was trying to. I was like, why is your hand going so slow?
I was like,
man?
look at this.
Oh wow, look at that! It's like Thor's hammer coming down on that thing.
Thor's hammer.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Wow.
Mjolnir, you'll feel my wrath.
Look how crunchy the sugar is. Oh, it was
Oh, wow.
perfectly cooked. Delish.
So, did you feel
Love
hit or
those.
miss on this
Oh,
one?
and then
I
that little
thought
flake
it
just
was
fell
a
off.
hit for the price and like how big the portions were. To be honest, it was great. Probably wouldn't do the prefix again unless I was super duper hungry. But if you're like wanting to like maybe share a little bit, like one person get an entree and then share the dessert and the entree or the appetizer, one person gets it.
Yeah.
And then maybe do an entree yourself
Yeah, it's good advice.
because it's a lot of
It's a lot of food.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we're a little split on this one because it was, while everything was pretty good, I don't think I would go back again. Honestly, I feel like I'd rather spend, if I'm gonna eat, like sit down somewhere, I would rather. There's other places I'd rather go because for me too, like the steak was just like okay. I don't know.
He chose poorly.
I think their lunch is better, in my opinion.
We
I
did
like
the
their
lunch.
lunch a little bit more.
Yeah.
That was the lunch?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought
Yeah.
that was the dinner. Oh, you didn't want the croque monsieur? Or
Oh,
did they
I
not
I don't
even
think that
have
was an
anymore?
option. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, then they've changed a lot. That's sad.
I
Yeah,
think they just
I
made
would
it
have gotten
dinner
that. That
port,
sounds
like,
good. Yeah.
all day.
Yeah, because they had. Well, next time go to Viennapoli, I'll hook you up with my pizza guy over there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or he should get the fish like I did because that was delicious.
fish.
Mm.
Yeah.
Like hands down for like theme park fish. Like I was just like I'm gonna do it, and then it was really good.
That's a beefy fish.
Oh man, it was that beurre blanc, the champagne beurre blanc was so good.
Well,
So tasty.
you really do sound split, but I
Yeah.
think that's
Yeah.
fascinating. Yeah, that's great.
He's like, you're crazy.
Yeah. I don't know. Everything
Divorce
to me was
papers
like,
are in the mail.
I mean, it was a lot of food, but $75 is a lot of money too. So I was kind of like, I don't know.
His steak was kind of like theme park steak. I'm not gonna
Yeah,
lie.
so
When
that's
he
kind
cut
of the
open,
problem.
like when he cut it open, it was kind of like it was cooked, like the way he wanted to cook, but the quality.
Well, now you know. You tried something new, and that's the point.
Yeah,
So good.
get the fish.
Yeah, get the fish. Yeah.
So the last thing
Yeah,
on our
poisson.
trip report here until we get to something else a little later is we did a pontoon fireworks cruise.
Heyo.
Yeah.
Which we have done this before,
Look
actually.
at
So
us.
it's the only thing that we've actually done
Disgustingly
before.
cute.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
You're disgusting too.
That was me after I ate all the food too. I was like, woof.
Yeah, I know. But I gotta say, it sounds expensive at $400, but we shared it with. It was up. You can ride with up to 10 people.
Yeah.
So we shared it with those people. Everybody split the cost. It's not that big of a deal when you consider it like
yeah.
that. And then on top of that, they let you bring on whatever you want. They give you a little bit of snacks, like she brought potato chips and had like sodas and water and stuff. But they also just let you bring on straight up just booze, and you can just
Yeah.
Oh,
so
nice.
if you don't have anything too, you can stop at like Gasparilla, and they have like bottles of sparkling wine or whatever, and you can like just bring them on with you. She provided us. We were like, what are we going to do about glasses? And they actually had plastic glasses there for us too,
Yeah, little champagne
like little
flutes.
champagne flutes,
Mm.
which was like crazy. So it was a really fun time. It's a great view of the fireworks, and you get about an hour of cruising time before the fireworks happen.
It goes by so fast.
And it goes by really quick, but our guide took us over to like the old Discovery Island location and showed us the entrance, and like she has this big powerful flashlight and she shined it at the entrance and everything, and that was just so cool. You get these amazing photos. You get to watch the
we
electric
have
water pageant.
Footage of that
yeah, there
Discovery
it is.
Island there.
Yeah, there it is.
Looks
Heck
like a prison
yeah.
break.
Yeah, look how
Yeah.
dark it is. And all of a sudden she's like, here's the light. Pshoop. And then you're like, whoa.
Oh,
I mean,
it looks
this
like
was-
Indiana Jones when you go around the corner.
Yeah.
I mean, this was like a highlight for all of us. We were all like kind of losing our minds when we were, because you can rent your own pontoon boat during the day, but this is kind of within the off limits area where you're not supposed to take your boat. And her being a Disney cast member was just like, "Pff, I'll take my boat wherever I damn well please.
Yeah.
We do what we want.
Yeah.
She was so cool too because we took a little time too. So when we were going back, she was like booking it. And so we were going so fast on the way back. I was like, we cannot do that when we rent a pontoon.
So that was a definite hit. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
if you get 10 of your friends together or 9 of your friends together, $400, it sounds expensive, but it's really not that bad if you split it all up. And I highly recommend this. There's no hustle and bustle of being in the middle of the park or any of that. So
yeah.
You don't have any kids on shoulders ruining
No.
your fireworks
Yeah.
view?
Yeah.
it
Yeah,
was
if there are
great.
kids on
If you
shoulders,
really have to
they end
see-
up in the lake.
The castle, then no, then you probably won't like this. But if you want to see the fireworks and then just relax and enjoy the view and stuff from afar, oh my god, it's really relaxing.
It goes
Exactly.
without saying they play the music too.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
play the music.
Oh, even
at the same
better.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like loud.
Synchronized music.
Yeah. And then they
uh,
drive by the water pageant, which is cool.
Yep.
So close.
And you're not in the crush of humanity following the fireworks.
Best
part.
That's like
True.
the best part. Yeah.
Smart, yeah.
Out on your pontoon, zipping
So
around,
good. So good. Bring your own
Yeah.
desserts. Be like your own dessert party.
visiting Discovery Island with velociraptors watching from the shore.
I'm sure there. I mean, somebody in our group too was like, "It's like Jurassic Park." Oh, was he? Okay. I don't know. I remember somebody saying it. Listen,
many-
I was imbibing alcoholic
I was
beverages.
going to say, how many drinks in were you at that point?
I
It's
know.
hard to remember, right?
He saw the dinosaurs.
He did. Yeah.
I saw
Yeah.
eyes in there. They were like peeking out, like watching.
They came to life. That's right. Yes. Well,
So that's our trip report. For
Outstanding. So many great firsts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of
Congratulations.
hits.
Yeah.
a lot of hits.
Oh,
It was a great
misses.
trip overall.
And the weather? Huge hit.
Yeah.
Yeah, the weather was nice.
Fantastic. Beautiful, cool
Lucked
breezes.
out there.
We got like one little rainstorm the whole time, and that was when we were in our car, so it was fine.
Outstanding.
Okay.
Congratulations to the two of you on so many firsts and experiencing things the right way.
Disney adulting.
Yeah, that's how it's done, ladies and gentlemen. You got it.
What's up?
And now you know. Are you somebody who has ever rented a watercraft out on the Seven Seas Lagoon in front of Magic Kingdom or around the Magic Kingdom resorts? We'd love to hear from you, or any of the topics that were covered here in this trip report. Are they something that might help you in your future trip planning? We would also love to hear from you on that. Let us know. All right, you stick around. Kingdom Report Live wraps up next. Remember those carefree days of childhood where the magic still existed? When you didn't feel guilty about eating mountains of cereal with, we'll just say, questionable nutrition? Well, now you can have your cereal and you can eat it too. Because Magic Spoon has re-engineered that same great taste with grown-up ingredients for an absolutely game-changing Cereal 2.0. Because it's high protein, low carb, and 0 grams of sugar in each serving. I know, it's hard to believe, but it also comes in 6 delicious flavors: frosted, fruity, cocoa, cinnamon, blueberry, and peanut butter. Plus, they've got limited edition flavors released throughout the year, like gingerbread or peaches and cream. So taste that magic of childhood all over again and get yourself some Magic Spoon cereal. Plus, take $5 off your order at checkout. All you got to do is insert the promo code Kingdom Team. That's right, Kingdom Team at checkout will get you $5 off your next order at magicspoon.com. That's magicspoon.com. Promo code Kingdom Team. Well, I can't believe it, but that about wraps things up for this edition of Kingdom Report Live. It always means so much to us that you stop by and let us be a part of your weekend. Whether you are watching live or on demand after the fact, it always means so much. And as a reminder, at the very top of this broadcast, we gave you the code word with the phrase that pays to get your very own Kingdom Report mug. You'll have to go back to the very start of the broadcast to get that code word. Leave it in the comment section underneath this video just as soon as the live video is over. You have between now and Monday morning at 8 a.m. Pacific time in which to enter. If you're the winner, we will reach out to you and get that mug sent your direction. For all of us here at the Kingdom Report, we'll see you next Saturday for another installment of Kingdom Report Live.